Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Funny Games. I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. If you're playing Don't Starve Together and you want to join up with me, feel free to join my Discord, as I always like to play games with multiple different people, and I'm always interested to know what other games you like to play too, as I play multiple other games other than DST, and you're more than welcome to join me anytime. So for now, I'm just going to talk about one quick thing, and that is why it's okay to die in Don't Starve Together. One of the biggest things that people always ask is that, why do I keep dying in DST? Well, the thing is in Don't Starve Together is you essentially learn from dying. It's really weird to think, but if you go into Don't Starve Together expecting to survive and never die, you're completely playing the game wrong. Of course, if you do a great job at surviving entirely without dying, I would be very surprised. The game is meant to basically treat you as almost like you're learning from dying, because that's how you essentially are going to remember what to do. When you go into Don't Starve Together, it doesn't tell you avoid the frogs or avoid doing this or that. So sometimes you walk up to a frog, decide to give it a hug, and it decides to attack you. And then you decide, well, I'm going to attack said frog. But then all the other frogs start to attack you. And without armor or anything else on, you might just find yourself getting licked to death, which is not a good way to go out. So let's just say that I died in Don't Starve Together, and obviously I decided to start all over again, and instead of resetting or whatever I decide to do. Well, now I've learned, guess what? Don't go near the frogs, and maybe until I have a little bit of armor might be a good choice, or some way of actually killing them. So then, you now learn that the frogs are obviously bad enemies to be close to, especially if there's more than one frog around. And this goes on and on and on for multiple different ways of actually playing Don't Starve Together. So, what's the main point of this video? I want to basically explain that everyone always asks the same question. What am I supposed to do about dying in Don't Starve Together? I feel like I can't make it past day 3 or day 4. But that's the thing. Making it to day 4, that is actually an achievement. Making it to day 5 is now an achievement. Then day 6, then essentially a full year in Don't Starve. Of course, there's multiple guides out there, and I've also done a guide explaining back to back, literally walking you through an entire year on Don't Starve Together. So feel free to check that out anytime you want. But don't forget, it's completely okay to die in DST, whether you're in this biome and you're dying to frogs, or when you go over here and the D-Fly accidentally kills you. Essentially what you're doing is you're learning how to play the game by pretty much dying. And that's essentially what the game wants you to learn. It wants you to remember that everything in the constant essentially wants to kill you if you basically don't use it in the proper way. Of course, not everything wants to kill you. There are some passive, mobs in DST. Butterflies specifically are so beautiful, and they'll never attack you or do any damage to you. Unless you decide to eat them, and they're not actually providing any sort of health. But other than that, they're not really causing any damage to you. But nonetheless, there's multiple different ways to die in DST, but the way that you need to basically remember is that get yourself a base started, get yourself the basics, and every time you make a step through the time, for example, like I said, making it to day 2, day 3, day 4, all that stuff, that is achieving how to play Don't Starve Together. Essentially what you're doing is just making it through a few days, and then eventually it's going to be more and more and more. And you'll find that as time goes on and you start to learn a little bit of the basics of DST, you're going to be able to last even longer. So don't feel discouraged about dying, because I find multiple people coming to my Twitch channel and saying, oh, I keep dying in DST and I have no idea what to do. What should I do? I've watched a lot of your guides, but I still die anyways. Well, the thing is, like I said, it's about learning the game. There is no tutorial, and I don't think there'll ever be a tutorial for DST, as they want you, Clay that is, wants you to actually learn how to play the game by essentially going through different time trials of actually really getting in there and essentially learning from being killed by mobs or getting attacked by mobs. Or you run out of food, or you run out of light. There's multiple ways to die in DST, but there's also multiple ways to survive. And that's what you have to kind of look at, is did I realize that today by making a little bit of light source, now I'm able to stand through the night, and I also have a carrot that I can eat that's going to last me a few days. So these are things that as time goes on, you're going to get better and better at. So in the end, just don't worry about dying in DST. If you have any questions down below about why you keep dying or things you keep dying to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up where anybody can comment down in the comments, and I will respond to every single comment. So feel free to go crazy, and I will do my best to reply to everybody as I do in any of my YouTube videos. But just remember, it's best to die and learn from that than it is to quit the game, because I think that this is a beautiful game to continue playing on, as I have almost 6,000 hours in the game. It gets better and better as time goes on. So trust me. Ask any questions down below that you want, and I will help you survive in DST, or at least provide a video that I've previously done before, or I'm going to do in the future, in the link, so you're able to actually help your survival in DST. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.